President ya gay, via ya tigeye, Lizage, I say, oh, me amurai, and Badrio, I'm a quantity of my trade there, when you learn it goes away. Alazaibo, that Gianna, we say you, Papa Mora, get me up when anywhere, Mamba Sivole. L'arrangeur parmi national, très trop fort. Puis à quoi ben moi c'est so when you oh yeah. I want Zaibo. There bio. Do a play you ba como nyao. Papa nyi guitar, petit, plateau fait sonner. Kaidaka. Bena baya posa gogo mambo panjagu Apo blo akafoi Wa posa nyoka foi Be afonte mo mani yo kwa kleju kiyen Nyonjo si mwen Posto kaka tuyo we atinyo ndi won Emo o Nesse tokan This is a coco, where they have it. Cowolia, I can't salute. What's to a yata tree of where I think on the one? Emo, Nessa tokan. Now, this is a coco, where they have it. Cowolia, can you get? Now, conquering your way, and your sound save the name. Let's do what you just grab it to one. Are you a no? Saibo Bodakiano, and I will say you over. I want to you come on, need a boy. And yes, I'm going to buy them with Mwege. Honey, Imo, the Magay, what I want, yes, me, I'm going to end it the well. Oh. Bobo that Giano and I will say you so like it up for when you never boy. Netoni and Rayo. Hey, you Opo Gregor say, oh yeah, I'm a walking about Kaidaka. When you go to work, I go to let you know your way. I just know. This is what I say. Saibo, yeah. La droite de mon pays, moi ne mon télé, télé by Potamu, Kanyada, Planning Papa, Pinegation, Baka on Lage, the Buesi, the BSC, the 10 years ago, you can not one, there was a ball, was a dress, you, Mammo, Balibo, that Giano, and I will say you over. I will. Saibo. Ibatu abajabla edu eso sei. Aje kwana le ibatu ana agronyo si iwoke. Wejo, iwo, Saibo boba. Inje ideke bo panglo ku ejo bi panglo. Oni krianya bo like e bade de noa. Jojo wa se. Zona bandia na sulitan klebe soule. Saibo that Giano and I will say you over. I'm done it. So away. I know Russell, baby, Russell. South Africa, your fault, your way. And you're for you won't be and when one. I'm the Pope and Yahu. Don't finish it, I say, oh, Clavodio. Say, back in where we are coming. Saibo that Giano and I will say you over. Aba pepo swelu ninde swelu Kwa muzedu manje tota siko bala Kabo jo ase Pepo swelu muzo bluke Say yare ase o Panye ino Ken mwande ye Nyo pamble yote mwande ya nao Ariwo ase o Panye Amo amora da o Saibo de Giano and I will say you. I wish a rule of you. Saibo. you know I say, is it Mayo? That was the Yassi also won't on you. I'm original, I say.
Alors, il a fait un son pour Mobile Production.
Arrangé Eric Lodé. Le don de Dieu pour la musique de l'Ouest. Je te détesterai jamais. Jamais, jamais, au grand jamais. Mobile Production. Abia dia au bois. Amunyandro. Moi, to pierre. Moye, Pierre, moye. Moye, Pierre, moye. Ato Pierre qui a volé. Pierre, moye. Ah, Pierre, oui. Ndato Pierre se plano seide. Ato Pierre qui a volé. Ma bosse à eau. Moye, Pierre, moye. Mosa bossa iben. Moye. Pierre qui m'a volé. Mangoye mo. Ah, Pierre qui m'a volé. Mangoye mo. Eh, Pierre, oui. Ah, qui a volé. Pierre, moye. La poche yo ji a vere, so no dunia emble. Mo ble amado vex a ple. Jamone chi panyone, ne. Mo waja chi panyone, ne. Ja, ble bone na kanyo po. Sia butiena, de kanyo. Kanyo de koga se perdu de ya. Piero mo moye, Piero mo moye, Piero mo moye. Ogarwa oya wesa, moye. Jibla o kuyo boba, derbono. Ma boye ble Piero we, Piero mo moye. Mon bien production. Oh Pierre, mon bien production. Asa o clano. Ya o ya lo mo lo koje. Piero mo moye. Piero mo moye. Erico na Piero moye. Ah, Charlico na Piero moye. Ato Piero moye. Ah, Piero moye. Erico jato Piero Mare bomu jato Piero Erico de bomu jato Piero Miomo daka. Dojale ko ye nyowo pa. Opa obra ye de nyani ye ble gba kite. Dia o anade kro aja be atia. Nyoro agba de ki agudi ye. Ono homono ne ka double ye. So bo somo soble to danyo. Paseble asenyo na yeta esa ye dibo sanide. To Piero jawe ke. To Piero point so weke. To Piero iwa mopa. Kaya no e ka sene la taya mo la osiane. To Piero di agba ile papa ko. Ya o to Piero moye. Ah, tu agba moe. Dibe ko agba moe. Ah, you agba moe. Piero we. Ah, Piero you agba moe. Piero we. Piero mo moye. Piero mo moye. Gayo padà we, never can go. Gayo padà we, never can go. Ah, did you? Ah, did you?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Samson Tour is ready.
Ira e magereri sasi mo boli alo tule. Ba o pekeke le boli akenya.
One more.
Ira e magelelio, ayale ira ya gelelio, aboma gogotio, ira e mageleli, botriritio, ira e mageleli, ayale. Dimo le to ayimo yu, ira e mageleli, ayale ira ya geleli, ayale. Babo bolialo tuo, wi yo bolialo tu, kaiti atapege imo. Bolialo tuo, ayale. Babo bolialo tuo, ya iti atapege imo. Bolialo tuo, uketi peo, ba o pekeke o, pekeke le bolia Kenya, ayale. Kwaze ibo uru bolialo tuo, ayale. Kwaze ibo sasi mo bolialo tule, ba o pekeke le bolia Kenya.
Good evening, folks.
Ira e magelelio, ayale ira ya gelelio, aboma gogotio, ira e mageleli, botriritio, ira e mageleli, ayale.
Welcome, folks.
Dimo le to ayimo yu, ira e mageleli, ayale ira ya geleli, ayale.
Where we will be discussing.
Babo bolialo tuo. Bolialo tu, kaiti atapege imo. Bolialo tuo, ayale. Babo bolialo tuo, yaiti atapege imo. Bolialo tuo, uketi peo, ba o pekeke o, pekeke le bolia Kenya, ayale. Kwaze ibo uru bolialo tuo, ayale.
We will be out here.
Kwaze ibo sasi mo bolialo tule,
It's
ba o
wonderful
pekeke.
thing to do here this Wednesday afternoon. We're all having
Ira e magelelio, ayale ira ya gelelio, aboma gogotio, ira e mageleli, botriritio, ira e mageleli, ayale. Dimo le to ayimo yu, ira e mageleli.
Let's start over. Okay, Samson tour. Okay. Why? As Samson told us, I'm having so much fun. I'm not too sure what is going on here. Okay, much better, much better. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, folks, I'm having so much fun. Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in serious trouble. But anyway, that means if I'm in trouble, folks. To be honest with you, I'm in trouble. Something just fell out of my hand and it's not supposed to, so I'm in trouble. But bear with me. We'll do the best we can here this afternoon. As you can see, I have no helper here. I'm doing it all by myself. Let's go on. Safety. Trouble or no trouble. That's what we're here to do on LIBERIA Public Radio. Who cares about trouble? We'll make it work. Thank you for joining us. We say we appreciate it. Those of you that are joining us on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon and see me making fool out of myself all over this place, dropping stuff. But anyway, who cares? Let's talk business. Safety, folks. Quite recently, I think you saw Braku had himself a wonderful time. I think it was on a Sunday afternoon. So from time to time, you see me bending over trying to change frame, so bear with me. But anyway, so I had to fix my car. This is what happened. I was driving, and all of a sudden, my radiator started seeing smoke. On the side of the radiator, started leaking. So the water is hot, so it's supposed to circulate. No air going in because the engine won't allow air in there. Radiator is supposed to be self-sealing. So because of the air coming out, the water that's supposed to be circulating find escape route, and then it started pumping out. Immediately my needle went up, the heating temperature gauge went way up. I knew I was in trouble. But guess what? I took my time. I'll drive a little bit, cut it off, cooled it down, get back on. It happened about 2 or 3 times. I was home, back to car the next day. That's when I went on air and started doing that. Now what happened is it's an old car. It's an old car, old Dwazet. I still drive Dwazet here, while the wife and the kids drive. I'm not even gonna say it. But anyway, I still drive Dwazet because I'm still suffering. I'm from Town. What do you want? But anyway, so I decided on a Sunday to go ahead because I do all of those things by myself. I called on that Friday afternoon. I called the garage, and they wanted almost $500 to $600 to change radiator. That if I had had all the tools, it should have taken me at least 10 minutes. And you want me to pay you $600? I'm gonna do it myself. So of course, with the limited tools that I have here, I decided to do it myself. So I went and bought the radiator, and the radiator doesn't cost much. I think I paid for $60 or so. So you saw me going on air. I was just fooling around. It wasn't any kind of rush or something like that. Okay. The only little problem I had, because I didn't have to go to work on Monday because I had to do the radiator on Monday because the place was closed. I couldn't get it on Sunday. But I was able to take the old one out and put a new one in. In about 10 minutes, I was done. And you want me to give you $600? So the radiator, this car is so good for changing the radiator. It has the top hose, the bottom hose, then it have 2 little hoses at the bottom that circulate oil as well in the radiator. Okay, so I took those out, take the old one out, put a new one in, tighten it. I was done. Tighten my air hose, everything. I was done in 10 minutes. The point that I'm making here, not because I can do it, but I've been telling you from time to time to be checking these things. Apparently, Blaku was too busy telling you what to do. He didn't follow his own advice. Now, if I have to check the radiator, and there are tools you can use to check your radiator. You wait until the radiator cooled off, and then they have this little pump. You pump air in it, and you will see if it's leaking. You will start hearing some hissy sound. The leakage that happened when I was driving didn't just happen overnight. It's gradual stuff. So I should have been able to notice that. Okay? So I'm just telling you, these things don't happen overnight. So that's one of the reasons why I keep telling you, when you're driving sometime, turn the radio off and just listen to your engine. And if anything little bit happening, you will feel it, and you will hear the sound. The sound is going to be different than your usual sound. Okay? And then you start wondering, be curious about your car, because the transportation system, those of you that live in a city and things like that, yeah, you have mass transportation, but those people that live far off, they depend on these self-transport vehicles to be able to move from one place to another. So the message, even though it's for all of you, but those of you that don't use car every day, you don't need to listen to me. But it's good for you to pay attention to that. So I want to change the antifreeze, of course. Guess what? The winter is over. It was time for me to change the antifreeze anyway. So I changed the antifreeze. While I was at it, since I know my hand was going to be dirty, I went ahead and changed the windshield wiper fluid. My blades are good. Okay, so I'm okay now. Thank God. Another thing you need to do, because these things, little things, will cost you money. At night, just start your car. If you have your partner or friend, anybody, tell them to step in the car, step on the brakes, and you walk around. Because if you're driving, you don't have your tail lights on, you won't know that, because you're driving, your eyes is not behind you. So the only way you're going to be able to know you have a tail lights off is some good telemetry, and some see you down the street and say, hey, my man, your brakes off. That's when, but most of the time you try and do the visual inspection. I'm telling you again, summer coming up. Those of you that are driving by yourself, specifically our sisters, it's not like you're not capable of handling yourself, but I'm just saying that if you're driving yourself, sometimes before you get in the car to go to work, do a visual inspection and see if the tire is lower than what it's supposed to be. You will notice it. And if it's so, take it to the nearest gas station. Pump it. I said people to pump air in the tire. It's better to do it now, even to be a little bit late, than it is to get stuck on a highway. You call the tow truck to come and help you. They're not going to come overnight. They're not going to come just like that. It takes time. In the meantime, you're in an area where the cars are moving close to 60, 70 miles an hour. You put yourself in a danger position. Okay, not that you put yourself in a danger, but you're in a danger position because you've seen these vehicles from time to time where the car driving, the person falls asleep and runs into your car. You're on the shoulder. So why even put yourself in that position? Do your visual inspection, and you'll be surprised what you notice about those things. They're very important. So car, take care of your car, and your car will take care of you. Again, I want to thank you very much. I want to welcome all of you tonight. My caution that I put up, I stated that Liberia and development. What exactly are we looking for? As a people, what do we want? I will continue to ask that question. Right now, there's certain thing that is happening from my own perspective that I see happening. There are those, and my little brother Alfonso friend, one time we were having some Boston District having some serious problem, and he was there that morning. He said in our dialect, and I'll speak it roughly in English what it means. There are people who will say this town got to hold. We're going to enjoy ourselves in this town. And there are some people that live in that same town and said, no, the town not going to hold. You're not going to enjoy yourself. We will make sure of it. So you have two sets of people. So in this situation, the way I see Liberia, there are those who wants the development to come out as quickly as possible. And there are those that are saying, wait a minute. We appreciate your anxiousness. We appreciate the fact that you want this thing to be done. But don't we have policy here in this country? Are we not the country of law? Are we not, or what are we doing? So these little law here and there that we're supposed to respect, let's go ahead and respect those laws. So you have two opposing views. Now, the problem that I have is there are certain groups that are not on board with either one of those opposing views. All they care, they're just sitting down, watching who's going to say something wrong, and then they jump on that person without understanding what exactly causing these people to criticize or what exactly causing these people to say what they're saying. And if you don't understand the topic, you jump in there, coming up with your own conclusion. And most people are not like me. They do not have the ability to eat crow publicly. And I do. If I say something that I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong. Most people don't have the ability to do that. But what do? They wallow into all of the conflict that is going on. When I say wallow, you know what I mean, right? Wallow. Okay, well, check it out. But anyway, so those people are also Liberians. They have voice and they need to express themselves. Whose responsibility is it to make sure those brothers and sisters that perhaps don't have no clue what we're talking about, but yet still they want to make their voice heard? Whose responsibility is to educate them? It is those, my opinion, those that are in charge to let every one of us know what is happening. Now, you can say, Mr. Tone, the situation is so common. The black and white, the writing is black and white, bigger than the building. The people can't even read it. No, I don't accept it. When you took this job to lead, listen to this, listen to the folks. To lead doesn't mean you just say, y'all follow me. No, you say follow, and there are some people behind that within that group are willing to follow. but they do not understand common language. So you take your time to say, now, follow me, but down the road, we're going to meet a stone. Down the road, we're going to meet a log that we're going to cross over. So when you get into that log, these are the instructions. And it's easy. It's easy. But if you assume that people want you to lead and they understand the leadership ability and they understand that the fact that you are a decent person, they will accept whatever you put out there, you're making a mistake. This is where we are. Okay? This is where we are, my opinion. Quite recently, there's another article in front page. I will continue to make front page, reference front page. Because front page, for me, it has been one of the best things that ever happened to Liberia. I don't agree with most of their writing. In fact, I sometimes get angry with some of their writing, like just the article that I'm going to be pointing out tonight. That article, in that article, they brought us something that are very close to me, personal stuff about somebody that I dearly, dearly love. But that's their job. It is my responsibility, now that I have read it and I know the inside story, it is my responsibility to say those of my brothers and sisters that are listening to me, perhaps if I'm going to be measuring this, I must also do my good friend a favor to say this is what I think happened. This is what I know. But I cannot say because I'm angry with Front Page Africa to say whatever they're writing is junk. You can't do that, because if you do that, you're defeating yourself. You must have an open mind when you come to Front Page Africa and any other newspapers. You say, but so most of the people, they're in it for themselves. So, but do yourself a favor before you come up with that kind of conclusion. Go deeper, so that when you make that conclusion, if anybody comes to engage you based on your conclusion, you will have a supporting evidence. But because of something Front Page have written that I don't like, then I say, Front Page, they're making trouble, man. People that aren't real patriotic people, they're just there to make trouble. I'm putting myself in deeper hole. So it is with the Front Page Africa article. In the article that I'm making reference to, they said the loan, the $536 million, the process, the agreement is unraveling, according to them. And in the process of explaining, they went farther back, bringing up history, which have to do with some of my friends. Okay? But I'm glad that they were able to, they didn't do usual stuff. What they say, they were able to provide some other point. I said, make reference to this friend of mine. They also was able to say, this is what happened at the end. Because as I saw the guy name, the first thing I was angry now. How dare you put my friend name in the paper again? You're starting again all over. For almost 5 minutes, I was just talking. And then I said, Samson, you're doing exactly what you're telling people not to do. Go on and finish the story. And then you can start filming up and what have you. Even though he's your friend, but give Front Page a break. Read the story. I took my time and went through it, read it. And then when I saw the closing, with respect to my friend, I said, oh, okay, they did a good job. You see, if I were to shut the paper down because I saw my friend name in there and I was angry and just shut it down, I would have come out here tonight, make a fool of myself without me telling you what the whole thing is. Just tell you, the people they follow, hey, this is what they say about my friend, blah, blah. It's all kinds of stuff. And there's some smart one among you guys, Mr. Toe, you better go read that thing again. This is how you get the understanding. Front Page Africa, according to the story, that's this loan. Remember now, The loan has already been ratified, signed, but they suspect that the 18 group that's supposed to provide it, they're having second thought. Because according to the story, it seemed to them that these people are not able to come up with the funding. The bank, the institution, most institutions don't want to talk to them. One of the reasons they mentioned in there was that maybe these people don't want to talk to them because there's no feasibility study for this role. Second, that Liberia, just say we'll pay you based on our own status. It's not enough for these people. Now, yes, the bigger thing, according to front page, that they might have to go back to the representative to look at it again. But this time around, according to front page, that the president, just to sweeten the deal for these people, because apparently they're saying that the guarantee issue, whatever they have, was not enough. So the president maybe might just want to throw in oil black of Liberia, might just want to throw in Wodogisi Mountain of Liberia, might just want to throw in, and this is in my backyard, Putu Mountain. Because you're going to build a road from Tapeta to, look, listen now, I told you guys don't do that. But look what I'm doing. I'm just doing it so you can understand. Because you're going to build a road from Tapeta to Zedru, and then from Tota, my own town, to the border. That's what you want Putu Mountain for? You know what Putu Mountain can do for us? That small little thing you want to take. You see what I'm doing? Without me even saying whether they're going to do that or not. Look at the kind of I'm leaping, making an assertion that perhaps might not even be true. Those on the other side, they hear me saying, they say, oh, we're trying to help you, and we say we want to put money. You see where the conversation going? Going nowhere after that. Because we both are taking a position. You understand what I'm saying? So in order for you to engage somebody, have an open mind. Leave room for compromise. If you come to a debate with no compromise, on the other hand, you're stuck. No matter what good point you made, because you're stuck with this one position, you're not ready to compromise. So all of the subject matter, all of the engagement, all of the statement coming from you will be sensed by the other person as the real no compromise. Therefore, I too will take my position, and I'm not going to compromise either. This is what's happening with our people. No room for compromise. And you can't have a debate like that. You can't have anything of a good nature if there's no compromise. Folks, but deeper, these things are getting harder. And I'm going to throw this one here in here tonight. I'm just giving you reason to think twice as we engage each other about the Liberia development business. First of all, we're behind time. And people that we're depending on. Look at the government in America right now. Look how much chaotic the situation among the American citizens. They're not going to fight with each other. But they're talking about civility. The whole system. They're saying that the governance system lacks civility here in the United States. And these are people that we depend on to help us as well. Did you hear what happened lately? Supreme Court Justice, the man who can stay in the middle, he said he resigning. And guess what? Those of us who consider ourselves liberal, progressive, were crying all day. Those of us who consider ourselves liberals, we're crying all day, because this is going to be a tough one to swallow. And the other side, they're not going to come and give somebody in the middle. They're going to go and pick somebody with a hard right side, and boom, lay on us. And all there's a possibility that all these things that people have been putting together, all these here, must be dismantled right before our own eyes. And there's nothing you can do. It's in the law. These people will follow the law. So let's go back to Liberia. If we can't take the opportunity we have now to work together and get on a good footing of development. You think when people having issue with what do you call it, Supreme Court and things like that, you think they will even invite your president to come have a conversation about development? You're going to be preoccupied with a lot of stuff. So what my point that I'm making here? Okay, the point here is this. The point that I'm trying to make this afternoon is this. Front Page Africa, the article they wrote, if it is true, I'm still reading, I'm still doing my own research, I have not made up my mind, I have not come to a conclusion. But if it is true, then I think the second round, the second time around, we must do it right. Because here's what we have to understand. Front Page Africa, all of the writing they've been writing, there are other people, financial institutions that are reading these things. Now, don't come up with a conclusion. I keep telling you, don't do that. Don't say because of Front Page writing, that's why people turning us down. Don't say that, because that's not true. And that's not what I'm saying. Front Page Africa, they are writing. If we extend our hand to them, it could be very helpful. Because the financial institution that are hesitant now to loan or whatever it is, they're going to say, you know what? If we put money in there and we have these people from Africa, we'll make sure our investment goes the right place. Because if anybody mess up, Front Page Africa will let us know. We're right about it. So Front Page Africa, as far as I'm concerned, they're doing a wonderful job. I don't agree with them on most of the tactics that they use. As a liberal progressive, somebody who like family business, if I were Front Page Africa, I would not even write anything. Let the young man go, whatever loan you're going to get, let's move on. Let's develop ourselves. But then you say, Mr. Tour, then if they man get the loan, then something go wrong. Then you want Front Page Africa to start writing about those who are going to steal the money? Let Front Page Africa start now. Then when they start to write about Samson Tour taking people money, then at least we can say Front Page Africa is truthful. But if Front Page Africa cover everything now, then when Samson Tour steals something, because Samson Tour and Front Page Africa don't get along, then they say Samson Tour, then we say Front Page Africa is a corrupt newspaper. So for me, I will continue to insist, not because I'm in this media business, I will continue to insist that the media institution must have latitude, wide range of latitude. If I feel my right as a Liberian citizen it's being violated under the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, I will challenge Front Page Africa through the court system, but not to insult publicly. I can disagree with them, but not to make them look like a buku man. And then time come tomorrow, then I want them to come and help me, because Front Page Africa and all of the newspapers in Liberia, they can be very helpful to this government. Very helpful to this government. Because you have some people, I told you the last time, let me repeat myself again. There are a certain group of people. Okay, the first group, you're doing something. I'm repeating myself. And I'll say it one more time, maybe next show, and then I say I will be done with it. But there are a certain group of people. You're doing something. They come to your aid because they like what you're doing and they believe in you. So whatever you're doing, they're in support of it. So if it goes wrong, they're not going to fault you, because they've already established their support for that idea. So if it goes wrong, they say, okay, we all made a mistake. That's one set. There's another set that will come to your aid to support what you're doing, but they're not supporting you in the process. They're supporting the ideas, because the idea that you expound, the idea that you put out, they also want that same idea to be put out. But they're not coming as a supporter. They're supporting you because there's certain thing that you're going for, and they also want that. But if something goes wrong, they'll say, well, we told you. You are not listening. Because they're not in support of you. They are not your base. You can't fall back on them. They will only come to you to make the noise because you're making noise the same way. That's two group now. The third group, they come to you because you don't like something or you like something. They too like it, but they have no means of expressing themselves. So you, the person who is expressing it, they come to you. But the very first hint of some misstep, boom, because they have never associated themselves with you from the beginning anyway. So why should they take the blame? These are the kinds of stuff we have to pay attention to. To govern is not an easy task. President George Weah, as much popular as he is, he can't just wave the magic wand and things start happening. I'll give you an example. This community road that they're putting up. My name is Samson Toll, Samson Brown Toll from Toll Town. You can quote me on this. The way I see the construction going from Facebook, unless they're doing it something different that they're showing, but from what I've been seeing, if they continue and finish, that road will not last more than 3 to 4 years, the most. And the complication of repairing that road is going to be so heavy, it will be unbelievable. Okay? You can't do these kinds of stuff overnight. They take time. When I look at that road, the Doe community, they're not building it based on station. Now, let me tell you a little bit about station before I go on. I'm not trying to deviate from my main topic here tonight, but I just want you to understand this thing. I don't want to just say something and move on without you getting the basis of what I'm saying. You're building a road. First of all, it's raining. Why would you want to build a road in Liberia in the rainy season and you expect it to last? That's number one. But the stationing, identify area, critical area as you're doing your construction. The stationing also help you to understand the calculation of a material, the amount of material that you're going to need based on the station. The stationing also give you an idea based on the stationing. You will also know where the lowest part of the road is, what station, at what position on this alignment that you have, that you're going to have a lower point. And how do you put your water through that based on the stationing of the road. The station also give you an idea of, okay, I'm going to have a curve here. Where is my tangent point? Because you don't just put curve there. First you have a long stretch, then you put curve in it, and then you have another stretch. Now the curve, they have a beginning of curve, an ending of curve. Now I'm not going to go with the engineering point of midpoint. I'm not even going to touch those things. By the way, beginning and end of the curve. But before you do that, you have a tangent. Those things goes with station. Now, when we saw Minister Falcon, who is an excellent explainer, the last time, you didn't hear that guy that was talking, so, oh, we are at this station now. Okay, we're going to go on to the next station. Even where the cover was, there's no station. So, for me, the building that road, what I call paper survey. You sit down in the office and say, oh, I think the point is here. Oh, that other point, you start putting point based on where you think they are and start marking and using your pencil because you're under the air conditioner. You get outside and do some true survey and collect some data from outside. Don't sit in here. That's what I call a paper survey. And I think these people were designing that. I mean, they were building that road based on intuition, what they believe, what they think the lower spot is, what they think the compaction is, without even doing a real compaction test. Because if you want a compaction test, you can't build that road in the rainy season. So going back to my topic, you can't expect the president to do these things with magic wand. If you do that, we're all going to fail. We're all going to fail. So let's get back to this Front Page Africa article. So for those of us that are ready to open our mind, Front Page Africa is doing us a favor. I told you guys before, Front Page Africa is like a double-edged sword to me. Now, I don't know about you, but when Front Page Africa ready for Granji there, you would think, so, what kind of man there? Where you get the kind of information? Where you writing the kind of thing for? If I around them myself, I'm going to throw with tea. How you talk about people like that, sir? Then when he ready, he flip it. And they're on the other side. And then he say, yes, I like running shit. I like the way you're doing business. The man, you don't fool around. That the same man yesterday when he wrote about my people, I was angry. What is the balance? If we want true development in the country, there was a video by Caesars. I saw it the other day. And being an engineer, tears sets in my eye. In Liberia, across the bridge, he shouldn't ride the motorbike, they call it keke, whatever they call it, on the sidewalk, pushing pedestrians out of their walking zone, designated for pedestrians to walk on. They're pushing them out because they're driving their keke on the sidewalk in the city of Monrovia. People see those things, and then I come out here and I boast. I'm an engineer. What kind of engineer are you, Mr. Toll? The things like that are happening in your own home. What is this? What do we want? What do we want? And I can tell you this. We as a people, I will not take myself out of it. The same thing I said before during the war, I was used to say, this war that is going on will all, whether you live here in America, every one of us are responsible. Because these things didn't start overnight. And we sealed our mouth. We didn't want to say anything. Because what will you say? You're here. The next thing you learn, oh, my man, your brother that station over there in Butuo, they call it through yesterday, they call it hell. You're angry. What are you going to say to the other people? What are you going to say to your own people that are going to quench their thirst of revenge? Compromise. Compromise. If you want true development, you must be ready to compromise. You can't stick a position and say this is it. Be rigid in your argument. You will not be successful. Now, let's go back to myself again. As an engineer, I know how to do these things. First thing, if I want to take care of the sidewalk situation that I mentioned a few minutes ago, you have to make these young people part of the system. You make them to understand that they are part of the system. I'll tell you why right now though, because I was in Liberia, from the two bridges, just where the road meet via town to go all the way to Cloud Town or Looking Town Cinema, used to be looking. Those people are bashed. That road is bashed in. Because when they were building the roads those days, they didn't take into consideration that Liberia population was going to grow. The only way you're going to get right away right now, if you buy those houses and break them down to widen the road. Other than that, you're stuck. But this is where you come in. You leave that and say, okay, this is another road. Where the area that is still not populated, the government like Liberia owns most of the land. You stop innovation. You start building new roads. You think America, the fine road you've been driving on in a place here. Go, you see, I'm in the road business. And I know the history. Go and do the research of some of the road you're driving on. You will find out most of these highway you're on, they were driven, they were brought about by putting some sort of buggy, horse buggy. And over the years, they said, we're going to expand it. We're going to make it bigger. These things didn't come overnight. But the problem that I have is this. Like I said, I feel bad. I said, engineer, I just got off of work today. I did there was some, Jesus Christ. We're all suffering. Whether you hear you eating palmado or podkesali, we're all suffering. I was at work today. So I was giving me the assignment. We designed a parking lot, a new parking lot by the building, and the construction was done. So I have to go and do the punch list. You know, punch list is where you go and identify, okay, this area is good. Okay, you did a good job here. No, you didn't do a good job here. You know, stuff like that. So I went out to do a punch list of the parking lot. And when I was done, as I was writing my report, I started feeling bad. Because when I was in the library, I didn't see no parking lot. They have the high-rise building. No parking lot. Why will you issue somebody a permit? The building that I'm talking about is the state of California building. But the department that issued the permit for state of California to build their own building, and this department that issued permits also employ, most of them are employed, all of them are employees of the state of California. But they're not going to issue California permit to build until state of California can say we're going to have parking lot. How many cars we're going to have. All of those things have to be put in place. Why would you issue somebody a permit, building permit with no parking lot? For what reason? Where you expect Liberians to park their car? That means we all do. We don't mean anything to these people. But as long as we take this shortcut, no development coming. President Weah can do all he wants to do. Development not coming. You build our coastal line right now. How do you maintain it? Do we have people who are trained to maintain that property, the agricultural facility that are going to be put down? Do we have that ability to do that? The young people, everybody just gravitating towards law degree. Most Liberian law degree, social science, which is good. But how many lawyers do we need in Liberia, my people? So the few that can do the little technical stuff, they come in, lucrative. They take it. There's not much competition. And if it is a competition, they make sure they block the road. People asking, when you're going to go home? Where? Go to Liberia. What am I going to do? To do what? I can go over and work for a private firm. That's fine. I don't need government job. But the frustration that I'm going, when I was there, the frustration was there already. Because I know what to do. But people are not doing it. They stripe. Folks, I'm all over the place this afternoon. Please forgive me. Because sometimes these things stay in me and I need to vent them out from time to time. The striping of the road, and now you can't even see it because they're not reflective. And let me, yeah, my people, we're suffering. You know the striping that when you're driving at night, you can see fog line, yellow line, you're still able to identify because light shot. You know what are those things? Marbles, grind. And for us, since we're so poor, grind, grass, battle to the shine, little teeny stuff, you grind it, powder, and mix it. Guess what? The reflection from that grass, something will be reflected back to you. In this country, they use marbles. In fact, just recently they sent a mail out to us designer. They said the people who produce marble, they're running out of marble, so you expect prices to go up, and you can't argue with that demand. But just a little thing. Where is the folks, the innovative young Liberians? They're here, plenty. In my own community, I call some of them graduate dictionary because they know how to speak the English language. But where's the opportunity? You want these young people to leave from here and go to Liberia. They don't mind sacrificing, but who's going to welcome them? You want them to leave from here and start running from office to office looking for a job, when our representatives, our superintendents, those who, the brothers and sisters, supposed to recognize who is capable and who is not capable, and be able to be in and say, look, my man, we want development in our country. This is the kind of person we want to help us to carry on that. They don't do that. I'll give you an example. Look it up. Quite recently, as we speak, we have the superintendent of Grand Union County. I believe he's still visiting, but the last time he was on Facebook, where he made a statement, and that statement really, I was like, oh yeah, wow, we got problem. He said, my people, let me tell you right now, people who you consider older folks in our community, and there's an issue, and you go to them to complain, they expect you to give them money. So say you give them $15 for the complaint, and somebody else comes with who has the same complaint or arguing with you and give them $20. That $20. So even if I'm right, because somebody give that $20, they're gonna go with that person. What do we want? What do we want? And one thing for sure you're not gonna have is to say, let's just keep struggling until all those people that started trouble, all of them died out, then we can start fresh. It all happened like that. Because by the time the people who started trouble, by the time they die out, by the time you're already in green, your feet already grounded into the pollute, corrupt behavior. What do we do? Folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, I'm here this afternoon, just talking about development. So how do we accept, first of all, first thing first, we have to accept development. Not everybody that, oh, want that place to be developed. Not everybody, you tell me right now, you want development? Yeah, okay. The development we're going to give you, Mr. Toll, is going to go through total. But guess what? We want 120-foot right away. Oh, my empty house, you want to break it down? And you want to use government domain? We're going to go to court. Where's the development coming now? The government come in. Mr. Toll, we're going to put 24 right away here. Your empty house is in a way. We're going to take it. Okay, what is the compromise? How much you going to give me for my empty house? That house, maybe about $100, $200. Okay, fair deal. Then you go down the street and you meet up with somebody who has inside track, the same house, and you're giving the person $2,000. These things happen in Liberia. And you will find out that once people start, it happens here in America. What's about Liberia? Once the construction or the people start finding, oh, there's going to be a design, they start building closer to because that's their land. They start building closer to the road so the government can purchase. These things happen. How do we get developed? Development don't come overnight. Development, just like democracy, you must sacrifice, my opinion. In order for us to enjoy in our country what we enjoy in this country, we're all going to have to agree to sacrifice. But we must do so with transparency. Why will you expect me to sacrifice and the next person is not willing to sacrifice? They do the same thing here. Just recently, there's a Supreme Court ruling. They say union you don't have to pay union due anymore to belong to a union. Fine. But if union usually supposed to represent you if you have issue with your employer and things like that, and they're gonna have a higher lawyer. Who paid this lawyer? The employer definitely is not gonna pay the lawyer. So I'm paying my union due, and you're not paying your union due, but you want the union to represent you. What is the fairness in this thing? So these are kinds of stuff. These things happen here, they happen all over. But once again, we ourselves going to accept responsibility. There is nobody, no one will come out of here and manage the day-to-day affair of Liberia. It's not happening. America are not sending economists over to manage their stuff. They're not going to do it unless they want to put $1 trillion into the economy. They say, okay, we're putting that money in there, we're going to manage it. Just like what they were doing in Iraq. Are you ready for that? If you hire somebody to do a job and the person is not doing a decent job, let him go. Get somebody else. Employ people based on the merits. Are they qualified? Do they have the correct credentials? Nowadays, you can check anybody's credential. Because people been writing about themselves over and over and all these years. Somebody who lie, you can't lie all the time. Sooner or later, somebody will find your lie. You will put something on a piece of paper that will say something about what you wrote the last time that is not true. Go and research. All of us, some of us have done something, wrote something, and it does not jive with what was written years ago. So there's nothing you can do to hire yourself. Folks, this is Samson Told, LIBERIA Public Radio. I'm going to go ahead and take a commercial break here. And I ask you to stay with us. We'll be right back. Samson Told, LIBERIA Public Radio. Commercial, stay with me.
Hey man, everybody get our own hero. Down to the police. Let's go to A.B. Johnson. Some people got a hero to make. Your hero is your hero. My hero is my hero. Take a hero. Now my 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 hero. Yes, they go to the show. What about Joe?
My name is Chef Africanus Nathan of Nathan Catering Service. We are a full-service catering team. We offer varieties of menus and services to fit your budget. Our services include wedding anniversary, wedding reception, birthday, graduation, corporate events, baby shower, holiday event, open house, family reunion, and many more. We cater not just in Jacksonville, Florida, but we've been in a lot of states in America to cater. We even went as far as Canada to cater. Our catering service is equipped, as you can see, we can handle any events. So if you are planning your next event, please allow Nathan Catering Service to serve you. Remember, our customer satisfaction is guaranteed. And if it has to be catered, it has to be Nathan Catering. Contact us in America at 904-414-0402. As we plan to open in Liberia very soon, you can contact us in Liberia right now at 088-6877-503. We love what we do, we cherish what we do, and believe me, you will love us when you give us a chance to cater to your next event. So let's start planning your event to make your day a beautiful one. Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
Oh God, you know, Jaira is Jaira. Some people are to make a market.
That's Nathan Kerry. Folks, if you're able to hear what he said, please go over and contact him and see if we can do business with him. He's very professional, as you can see. We will play. In fact, I think Mr. So gonna invite this young man and talk to him, and then he will give you. He already given us some information about his involvement, why he liked to cook and stuff like that. But these are some of the stuff. It's a young man who has done something for himself. He's all over. Look at how clean the kitchen is. He's a Liberian. But do we go support his cause? Why can't we, if you're having something, especially this holiday that is coming, why can't you support and patronize his cause? This is how you build development. Because if you give him money, most likely, as you heard, he's also getting ready to do business in Liberia. You give him money, he's going to go to Liberia and start something over there. That development. But let me get back to my topic. Thank you, Nathan. We appreciate it, my brother. We'll continue to pray for you, and we hope you'll do well. Not only it's a commercial, but the fact that you're Liberian and doing good for yourself, we'll continue to pray for you. And I'm sure all Liberians will do the same, not necessarily commercial or what have you, but the mere fact that you're doing something, and we're all proud of you, and we say thank you. Appreciate it. So let's get back to this thing here, development. Another thing that been eating my heart for quite a while now is this. Okay, we have Liberians, highly skilled, and I just don't want to name because I know most of them in my own community, highly skilled, young, very young. Some of them were born 1972. Can you imagine 1972? Ah. And in fact, they consider people like that now big brother. 1972, big brother. But no, on a very serious note, these are all young people. But guess what? The nepotism that is in our country is eating us away. Because we don't know these people and they don't have connection, these people are going to stay here in this country. They've all, some of them, two masters. They don't have to do two jobs. One job, some of them, you see the place they're living. You say, wow. But they're going to stay in this country. And guess what? America loved that. Because by the time, it's like when you wash clothes, just from the countryside, you know what I'm talking about. You wash your clothes. You squeeze it. You squeeze the water out to dry before you do like that and hang it up. Is that what we want from our young people? With all of the knowledge that they have, they're going to stay in the country, and United States going to squeeze all of the knowledge out of them. And by the time they ready to come to Liberia, they're of old age. They can still work, but not much you're going to get out of them. The go spirit in there is not much anymore. All because of who do you know? We do that, we're going nowhere. That country been existing for a very long time. What is it? 170 some odd years now. And we still don't have decent lighting in Monrovia. And a true story. I know some of the people are going to get angry with me. We have a Library Engineering Society here in America. And I'm still a member, but I don't participate much because I feel that they're all double E's. You know what double E, right? Electrical engineers. Most of them working, doing decent work, managing company in this place, in these United States. You're talking about LEC, needing people. Why are we not coming here to recruit Liberian engineers? They're here, they're working, they've already been tested, they have the experience. Why are we not coming here to recruit Liberian IT? They have been tested, they're young, Why? Why are we not coming here to recruit like young Liberian social workers that will help the social mobility in Liberia? In other words, there are those young people that were involved in the war. They're still not straightened. These people have been trained how to deal with people like that. Why are we not? You want the people to just go to Liberia? Oh, you come home. Come home where? Where are they coming? Oh, you come and help. It don't work like that. You're in position. Turn over. Somebody that government position that not farm. Somebody get there, you find out, man, what are you doing? You're my friend, but man, you must have play car, we'll play football. But come here, you're not doing better. Let me get somebody else. I need to move this thing. Where is the anxiousness when it comes to that? We're not building capacity in Liberia. And that's one of the reasons why we keep having to recircle politicians, because the capacity building in Liberia is zero. Because why? We do not build institutions. We build individuals. And when the individual time over, there's nobody that's a step. Because with the institution, if you build the institution is there. The institution will be able to survive. If you have a correct civil service agency that will not seek people to pay them before they give them job. What's your CV? Oh, you got this, you got, okay. You know what? We'll believe you. Not that we don't believe, but we'll call your school and we'll call the other places and test, make sure you say where you are. We'll get back with you. That man get a job. The assassin to come on TV and say, oh, like government, they don't let them employ people because they want family. You call it assassin to. The people that employ me, I don't even know them. You know, and that's why I will call name. We have a young, not young, but a gentleman in our community called Kyrie. And there are certain young people that are here now continue to talk about him when he was in Liberia. Story they tell me that Honorable Kyrie didn't care who you were, where you coming from. As long you're able to do the job and you have the qualification, he will hire you. And so some of these young people, they tell us, Honorable Kyrie, I don't go calling Honorable Kyrie and say, oh, the children say you did it. No, he doesn't know that. But these are things that are in the children's mind. So people like that, they know if he get a position, he will do the same thing. What's wrong with that? Does my name have to be weird before I get a job? Or my name have to be weird before I get any kind of contract with her? So where do we go in? What do we want? What kinds of developmental agenda do we have for ourselves? You would think, and I hope, that before our superintendent, who also a very young man, very young. When I mean young, maybe he's about what, 35, 40 years or something like that. Young. But they ask him to lead Grand Jide. He's accountant now. So that he's here, I will hope that he will contact the leadership of Grand Jide Association and say, I want you guys to have some sort of a forum, intellectual forum, where Grand Jidians, we will be able to identify Grand Jidians and say, okay, the person can do this, the person can do that. I hope it happened. When the Grand Jide community president came here the last time, I thought that was going to happen. It didn't happen. I don't know why. And I'm not going to question why. Well, how do you identify people? They're not going. Here's the thing that we're missing. Most of the young Liberians are comfortable. They're doing well. Why would they want to sacrifice? Because they come to Monrovia, to come to Liberia, they're sacrificing. Take it or leave it. I say so. The money they're getting paid, you're not going to pay them in Liberia. But guess what? They would love to do what they're doing here and making all of the hundreds and thousands of dollars. They would love to do it for less than that in Liberia because that's their home. And when you talk to these young people, they will always say, I don't mind going to sacrifice. But where's the opportunity? Where's the opportunity? We're all jealous of each other. The person, biting. For what reason? As a result, we get what we're getting. And I'm going back to how do you call it, Dole Road again. Dole Community Road. That community road, if it's done correctly, it should be something that would be the first major road under President Weah if it finished. And guess what? That road gonna be finished and it's gonna be shiny. It's gonna be shiny. People, look at what we got. Say something to say, look what we had, look at the road. But go underneath. Bad. Why do I say it's going to be bad? Because it's raining. Underneath it's going to be wet. When you look at it, here in this country, think about it. Think about it. These people build bridges. And where do they usually put bridge? Over the water. How do you think they get those footing under there? Where the water is there? Cover down. Okay. Sometimes they diverse the water. But guess what? The water has been there for years and years. So the water table is down there. So what do? They have what they call well points. It's a series of rods. Let's put them around, stick them around, and connect them to a pump. And the pump suck all that water out. 6 feet, 7 feet deep. Okay, by 6, 7 feet deep, the foundation. If you want to hit solid rock, then it's up to you. By 6, 7 feet deep, what kind of depends on the road, depends on the traffic. I'm not going to sit there and design a bridge for you, but I'm just giving you an example. So now, in order to do a work in that area, you're working in a dry environment. After you're done, you open it up, water come back in there because the place is already done. But look at the Dole community video. Go and watch the video. Did you see any pump? 6-inch pump. Forget 6-inch pump. Maybe it's too expensive. $200 too much. 4-inch pump that you can get from Home Depot. Did you see any of them pumping water? Even the people that pulled in the concrete. It's raining. The water all sit in there. I told you the last time, and this one I'm going to repeat myself. The concrete makes design. You have certain percent of water in there already to be able to give you the strength you want. You're going to take that percent of, and here's the thing, as a concrete truck driving, I feel bad for Liberia. As a concrete truck driving, you got to add water because it takes time from the plant to your job site. So you have to add water. So all of those things are taken into consideration. So by the time you're done, you have water in there already, enough. So you go and pour in a puddle of water. That puddle of water was not part of the design, though. So it's weakening the strength of that concrete. How you expect that road to last? The access from the water around the neighborhood, as they start flowing through that cover, it's going to eat away the concrete because the strength is not there. It's all sand now. You expect it. Then that's what I'm giving them 3 to 4 years. I'm not making it up. Because yes, the thing, even if the road is good, but that cover, once it start getting bad, bloop, bust away, what are you gonna do? You're gonna repair that money. Do it right. Do it with sense. President Weah doesn't need to put road all over Liberia before he gets out of office. You start something as young as he is. You want to make a mark on the Republic of Liberia, just like you did in the war during football season. He has set some record. Those records are still there. We're waiting for Messi and Ronaldo then to try to break those record. I doubt it if they will even touch it. Somebody from Cloud Town. We're talking about Portuguese and Argentinian people to try to break his record from Cloud Town. That's how much powerful he is. He's still young, but you want to put the same mark on Liberia. You don't have to start everything roll everywhere. You start decent roll. I'll give you an example. Those of you who are as old as Samson told you, remember Monrea, Kakata to Torota. Those of you from the countryside, now if you're from that side, you know what I'm talking about. When you're coming from Tota those days, your mom would tell you, me, I used to ride with my mom all the time, coming to Monrea, going back to Tota. Don't worry, she would say something. The dust will only be on your face. As soon as we read the president farm, God, President Tubman used to have an animal farm in there. Torota, the quota start from there. Once you get to Torota and past Torota, no more dust as far as they're concerned. You think President Tubman could have just built something and say, okay, everybody get a dry roll. But you do things in time. President Weah, you've been all over the world. You even, I bet you probably drove the Autobahn in Germany, the one with no speed limit. And now God put that thing like that out. Man-made. Well, we can't do the same thing in Liberia. These things are not, they're not impossible, but you have to plan. You don't just say, I want to roll in 3 years. What kind of road you will build in 3 years that will last for 20 years? Unless you're building a driveway. But there are people who will tell you, yeah, Mr. President, because they want to keep their job. Those are not decent people. I take that back. They're decent Himalayan. There's no, I take that back. I apologize. Those are not people that will tell you the truth. Truthful. That's what I meant. I don't mean decent. They're all decent people. I take that back and I apologize. But those are truthful. That's the word that I made on that. They're not being truthful. Because if they're truthful to you and tell you, Mr. President, we all love you. We want you to be successful. But to build road here for 3 years, yeah, we can do it. But it's not going to last. Unless, President, if you just want to build a road, after you leave, you don't care again whether the road damaged or not, it doesn't matter to you, then that's okay. Then let the people do whatever they want to do. But I don't see that in your character, sir. I don't see that in your character. In as much as you're done with football business. But anytime you young people playing the county league match, you're there. Anytime you watch football game, because that's what you want, that's what you like. It's the same thing. And once you leave office, Liberia will always be almost like your baby. Because there's a lot of things during the campaign that you were dreaming of. That if I'm successful, this is what I want to do for Liberia. Nobody forced you to it. But because your desire, not because you want to be King George of the Republic of Liberia, but because you want to be president, and being president will give you the opportunity to do what you want to do for your people. And we respect that. But you'll leave the 3-year business. It's not possible. You don't have feasibility study. You don't even look at it. Look, take it serious. In order to do a decent work, you're going to have to do a feasibility study that have to take into consideration the environmental impact. These are some of the things these people that are talking about the money when front page brought out up today. I said, maybe. Because people who wants to give money, they think about these things. The environment. And in Liberia, what we do, slash and burn. What do we do if we put this road out? What are some of the impact? What happened to the, and I'm being ridiculous? No, I'm being serious. What happened to the frogs? What happened to the snakes? What happened to the birds? What happened to all the fowl, guinea fowl that's used to come to the water and drink and swim in our water? What happened to all those things as you're doing your coastal line roll? How do you maintain those? How do you maintain the balance? Have those things been taken into consideration? These are kinds of stuff. People who need to talk to you, if they're sincere and not just there to talk about their job, they will tell you these things. Because you're not an engineer. Nobody expects that of you. As a leader, you expect these things from your people. I'm going to give you a secret here this afternoon. Samson told my brother, I'm opening my big mouth. Quite recently, during the election, that's one of the reasons why Liberty Party, if Liberty Party was to win, yes, Liberia are going to enjoy. We're still enjoying, not that we're not enjoying that, but I think Liberty Party would have at least Councillor Broskin. Now you can say what you want to say, but I don't care. But Councillor Broskin probably would have taken Liberia like that. Reason being is this. Like I said, I'm a member of Liberty Party. But during the leadership of Philip Swat, who is here in America, who also is a very intelligent, smart young man. You should listen to Philip Swat sometime. He decided, look, we're going to help our brothers and sisters. Those of you that are in different disciplines, those of you that have this experience in other areas, put yourself together. All engineers that are member of Liberty Party USA, put yourself together. All lawyers, member of Liberty Party USA, put yourself together and come out with a policy. How, if Liberty Party win, what do they need? How do they move the country forward? And we used to have meetings. If you don't know that I'm busting the secret, so big deal that I'm my society are in. Liberty Party is a political party, and we don't keep it secret here. But the engineers, the group that I belong to, we were working. Okay, if Liberty Party win, what do we need to do? If we're going to build road, what road we need to build? How many miles we need? And what do we need? And each of us were given a task to put these things together. So Liberty Party is sitting on a bunch of ideas in Liberia. I'm not saying Erica CDC and the coalition don't have it. That's not what I'm saying. They probably have the same. But if they did, let me throw one political job. You don't mind me that, right? Let me throw that. If they did, why did the guy came over here to the United States and say, "Oh, the pro agenda it's not quite correct yet. We're ready to. It's a dream. It's a thing we were thinking about. Now we're gonna have to put it out there. If they have it already." That's a political jive against CDC and the coalition from Samson to. I love it when I do that. But no, on a very serious note, okay? So, but this is how you do these things. And I'm sure they got some smart CDC, very smart, intelligent more than me. Plenty of them more than me, smarter than me, way smarter than me. But the reason why I mention this thing is this. There are some documentation in Liberia. There's no reason if we put our arms around each other that we should struggle. The political activity of Liberia has been going on for a very long time. People have written lots and lots of papers, lots and lots of ideas. If you're going to recycle all the politicians, why you can't recycle some of the ideas that's been written over the years? There's a company from Germany was commissioned to do study of Liberia transportation system. Dust that thing out. It's such a wonderful thing. And those of you in different field, you'll be able to understand that they have other studies from different countries about Liberia. But this is what I do know. Up to this time, you know, in this country they have what they call USGS-D. It's a topographic map of the United States, and some other part the U.S. government have interest in. The last topographic map that was made by the former Senator Watterson, Kruko Walker, but he's a geologist. I don't know. I finna forget his name. But that particular I call it topographic map was made back in 1972. Go do research on Liberia topographic map. You'll never find anything past 1972. Why? Why? You got people that can fly. Why? Even if we want to go back to the 80s and you don't want to use a GPS and what have you, get yourself people that fly, find the fiducial point of those pictures, and draw yourself a topographic map. I can do that by hand. That photogeometry. Anybody can do that. But how do you even go back and say, okay, well, this is what we're doing. This is the area. These are the elevation. You don't even know the elevation. How are you going to build anything? Maybe public way has that. I don't know. One more commercial and I'll be out of here. Samson told LeBron public. Before I do this commercial, I'd like to play this one here. This what I'm about to play is stuff that was put up by Gibson Jeru. When Gibson is in Liberia, and I wrote on his page if he doesn't mind if I use this. I want you to look at the road and listen to Gibson. I want you to listen to Gibson as he explain. Then I will come back and play without his voice and explain to you. And these are some of the things that I'm talking about. If you're having conversation, you must be willing to make sure you have compromise in the middle. Listen to Gibson Jeru explaining Monreal Road. Folks, Samson to LeBron Public. Let's listen.
This is the Monrovia Banga Highway. Very, very perfect. It's a road that you can boast of. Even though it is a one-track lane, but you can compare this with many of the highways in the United States. Very perfectly done. As you can see here, and this road is like this until you reach to Ganta. From Monrovia straight up to Ganta, this road is like this. But these are the people that fly this road. Look at this car. Can you imagine? That's the people that use this road. And we are using the road too, you know? Yeah. So basically, if you're coming here, you want to go to Ganta, you don't have to worry. There's nothing that can happen to your shock absorber. It's just perfect. Alright? I've got some motorbike also on this road. This is how the road looks all the way from Kingsville to the city of Gompa City. Yeah, Lima County. And if this kind of road goes all the way to Grand Junction, if this kind of road goes all the way to Maryland County, if this kind of road goes all the way to Riverside and all the way to Sino and River G, the voice you heard is a lady in the back of my car. That one was donated to me by my in-law. Very, very big goat, 90 goat. Alright guys, I just wanted to show you the road that we are applying on from Ganta all the way to Monrovia. That's what it is. That's what I saw. That's what I'm showing you.
Okay, folks, Samson told LeBron Public Radio. I love it. You heard Mr. Jeru. Was talking about a perfect road. He called it perfect because of the rideability, the way he rides and the way the car was moving. Now let's look at it from an engineering standpoint, and I'll be a little bit critical of that road. First of all, that's the line, the yellow line is the center line, because I know most Liberian road they don't use curve for center line. So the line and there is the center line, but the alignment, that's the same road Tommy Bola died on. That same highway. It hasn't changed. not by much. They didn't widen it. Now let me play now, and this time you will not hear Mr. Jeru. You will hear me talking. Okay. What I want you to, but anyway, don't pay attention. Just listen to me and see where we'll go from here. Okay. Here is the row. First of all, if you look at the row, okay, the shoulder, most likely 6 feet shorter. Okay. But look, what's interesting thing happening coming up right now. Watch the car. As you see how the car is no longer able to do the curve. That curve is not up to standard. The reason being, as you get closer to the curve, the whole front of the car you can see coming to the curve. Now watch that. Those are the guardrail. That's fine. But look at the other car coming. You're almost crossing the line because he can't make the curve. Okay, that curve is not standard. Number one. Let's go on. What I also want you to look at, okay, here, look at that truck. What's the shoulder for that truck to park? He's almost taking one side of the tire is on the road. The shoulder is not big enough. Okay, look how what they doing. Okay, that's another guardrail on that side. That's fine. But what I want you to look at is the hillside. Why didn't they lay it back? That also going to affect the drainage of that area. Okay. Another thing I want you to look at is the sight distance. When you say sight distance, you're driving and you're bending the curve. You should be able to see certain distance ahead of you as you're bending the curve. Now here the sight distance is not that bad, okay? But the other curves, they was very bad. Well, another thing that I want you to pay attention to is this. There will be some stripes that coming out here, be broken line. Okay, certain detail they use. I'm forgetting the name of the detail number now. But anyway, the car, you see the car, you see how you bend the car. It's like you who's sitting down just watching. It's like you're gonna fall off the curb. Off the car. Yes, the broken line. Those are lines that allow you to pass. But in order for you to pass, you have to have a sight distance, a clear distance where you will be able to see another car ahead of you, because all of those things are calculated. Okay, but the main thing I want you to take out of this here is, Gessi said the road is good. I agree. I drove on that road myself because I went to Karata as well. Okay, so I was able to drive that road, and I went to Karata on that road myself. Okay, the main thing is the drainage is bad. I saw it. Okay, instead of having some sort of rip wraps, racks and stuff like that, they decide to do sets of weirs. I'm not gonna go. I just accept it. Weirs. Okay. And as the water flow, you have a hydraulic jump, bloop, bloop, then it go back again. And whenever it goes down, you have erosion under the weir. I saw that, and it's happening. Okay. So the fact that the road you can drive on it does not mean that it is all decent. There's a lot more involved. The safety aspect of a road. That's what gives you a good road. A road is safe. You design a road. You don't design for people to get hurt on. You design a road taking into consideration safety aspect of the road. That's what counts. Okay. Okay. Let me do this last commercial, and then we can take our phone and we'll be out of here. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. While I'm having fun this afternoon. Okay, folks, That's Elena. Elena and Aaron are going to be getting married here very shortly. But this weekend is going to be heavy in Worcester because they're having an engagement party and also a birthday for Elena. So this is a commercial for her anyway. Thank you, folks. That's my number over there. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. I'm not going to be here for about 5 more minutes. I'll be out of here. Give me a call. Let's see what you have to talk about tonight. I didn't just talk about roles, so don't say, "Oh, I got a question for role." Give me a call. Samson told Labrador Public. Let me read some of the comment. Okay, I think somebody's calling. Let's see if we can get them. Good evening, Mr. Soul. Samson told Labrador Public Radio. What's your name and what's on your mind? Good evening, Mr. Soul. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, something. Yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to play out this evening here, but I was a little bit moving and I was rocking in my deck here. I was listening to you. I just want to go a little bit further so that I don't want to run a judgment. Are you calling the government of Liberia to bribe the media, to stop the media from doing her work, from reach out? What specifically? The government doesn't need to reach out. The government needs to open a book. Come on, Samson told. This liberal guy always put a controversial thing out there to the public. This is very, very, very sickening to communicate. What are you trying to say? Reach out to them. Reach out to in which way, Samson told?
Mr. Soul, as usual, you and I, when it comes to these things, we far apart, and that's okay. That's okay. My point that I'm trying to make here this afternoon, Mr. Soul, is this: media institution, they have to do their work. The government also have to do its work. But there must be reason from the government side to see that not all media, in fact, the media institutions should not be considered their enemies. They should be welcome. However, those who are writing themselves, they should also understand.
Where you have this guy who you always call Professor Eugene Fagon, who is a deputy minister, has labeled the media institutions in Liberia as enemy, and you yet to call him out because you see him as a professor. I'm not sure why you call him professor.
Well, Professor Eugene Falcon has a job.
He's not. He's not a professor.
Mr. So, what is your definition of a professor? Must the person have a professorial degree before he becomes a professor? Or ant catcher, a person, or dog catcher, or ant catcher, or pamboto coker can be a professor.
No, take me into the typical definition. That opinion is wrong, and that's a wrong way you're leading us. And this is the problem with the liberal group of people always in the business of twisting history, trying to rewrite history when the history has already been written.
Mr. So, while I do welcome you on my show, I think I'm entitled to my view, and these are my view. That's my opinion. The man, I consider him a professor. Whether he has a law degree, whether he has a professorship.
Professor in Total. I went to Total Memorial Institute, and he never came there. So when did he become professor in Total?
Okay, Mr. So, if somebody who has the ability to teach, somebody who has the ability to explain in such a way.
That makes the person a professor?
Well, for me, he's a professor, Mr. So. For me, he's a professor, Mr. So.
My goodness.
You're welcome. You're welcome for recognizing my talent.
All right. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Come on my show. You are trying to draft me, but I will be here tomorrow. All things considered, and I hope you will. I call him there so we can a little bit dive into that. But thank you very much.
I think I'll be ready for you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. That's my boss, who usually don't agree with me. I consider Eugene Falcon a professor. It's my opinion. Okay. What is your definition of professor? The person must be in the classroom setting anyhow. No, a professor. A professor. I consider him professor because he's teaching. Who is he teaching? He's teaching me. Who are you to tell me Eugene Falcon is not teaching Samson Tour? Can you deny that? Thank you very much. Folks, Samson Tour, LIBERIA Public, give me a call. I got about, my time is up. Let me see what he's supposed to say. African Nathan, just tune in tomorrow. We're here. But in fact, Mr. Nathan, on a very serious note, I want to thank you very much because I will do my best to bring you on, not just necessarily playing your commercial, but what you have done here, it demonstrates to the rest of the young Liberians that it doesn't matter who you are, as long as you have the mindset of doing something, God will always be with you and you will be blessed. You came in a country, I don't believe you came here with millions of dollars, thousands of dollars. You probably came like every one of us with $200 or so in your pocket, if at all. But here you are. It was, and here's the other thing people don't know. The fact that you're cooking. Besides cooking, you have other degrees that have nothing to do with cooking. So you're much, much more intelligent, smarter. Then like you correctly said, he said in LIBERIA, and I'll play that one day. He said in LIBERIA, when people cooking, they call you I call it Chico Flan. But it's not like that. Thank you very much, my brother. You're making our kids, young people, looking up to some of you and say thank you. We appreciate it. Continue to do what you're doing. Okay, folks, let me get out of here. And then I will say thank you very much for. Please tune in tomorrow for Mr. Soul Show, where I will be calling him. You know, this is what somebody told him the last time. And what kind of business is that? I'm in my studio. What kind of soldering is that? Man, get out of here, man. Nothing happening here. I better be careful. But anyway, this is what somebody told Mr. Soul the other day. He said, Mr. Soul, you better be careful or I'll call something to on you. They're using me to threaten him. I love it. I love my liberal view. I am a liberal progressive. I can stand on top of the house and say, Samson Brown Toe, the liberal progressive. That's who I am. And that's exactly what I do. Thank you. We appreciate it. And let's go on and say good night to all of you. But not on a very serious note. Please tune in tomorrow for Mr. Soul Show, where he will give you, as usual, some wonderful, wonderful information. What I've talked about here tonight, again, is not to disparage anybody. It's not to degrade anybody. I'm just pointing out something from my own perspective. What I think. What do you think? Come on next time and have a conversation with me. Samson Toe, LIBERIA Public Radio. I'll say good night to all of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful. What happened? Oh, right. It's been a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Samson Toe, LIBERIA Public Radio. Let's do it again. Good night, folks. Let's have a good time on Friday, I hope.
amant. Hey, hey, mon amant. Ateito, ateito, ateito. Nalukio na katia Kinshasa bobi mama e. Na bani na foire vikine. Na koti na sine pala dume, na koti na raki. Na koti na sine pala se, na koti na belevu. Na leki na tipeka e, na koti na ende twae. Ateito, 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 ateito mon amour. Hey, hey, mon amant, maman, mon amant. Hey, hey, mon amant. Zambe aneito, nalingi o mama aneito. Hey, hey, mon amant. Mama aneito, naponi o mama aneito. Hey, hey, mon amant. Janine amelo, nalingi o mama amelo. Hey, hey, mon amant. Elongi na yo ekati me monte manga na kolela. Hey, hey, mon amant. Loposo na yo esilisinga mayelenga na kolela. Hey, hey, mon amant. Zambe aneito, nalingi o mama aneito. Hey, hey, mon amant. Zambe aneito, naponi o mama aneito. Hey, hey, mon amant. Janine amelo, nalingi o mama aneito. Hey, hey, mon amant. Mon amant. Hey, hey, mon amant. Hey, hey, mon amant. Ateito, ateito, ateito. Nalukio na katia Kinshasa bobi mama e. Na bani na foire vikine. Na koti na sine pala dume, na koti na raki. Na koti na sine palase, na koti na belevu. Na leki na tipeka e, na koti na ende twae. Ateito, 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 ateito mon amour. Hey, hey, mon amant, maman, mon amant. Hey, hey, mon amant. Zambe aneito, nalingi o mama aneito. Hey, hey, mon amant. Mama aneito, naponi o mama aneito. Hey, hey, mon amant. Janine amelo, nalingi o mama amelo. Hey, hey, mon amant. Elongi na yo ekati me monte manga na kolela. Hey, hey, mon amant. Loposo na yo esilisinga mayelenga Zambe adeito na lingio mama adeito monamba Zambe adeito na ponio mama adeito monamba Shalida amelo na lingio mama adeito monamba